Question for men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. What are men in their 20s not considering that they should be considering? Story 1. Everyone is giving decent advice, but as someone whose 20s were lost in a spiral of DS, debt, self-hatred, job failures, and just generally being at every turn by being alive right now, don't worry if you aren't doing everything perfectly right. Very, very few people actually have the means and opportunity to succeed that early, or to even address most of the advice in this thread at any point in their lives. Avoiding debt entirely is a privilege afforded to few. Chances are you will almost never have what feels like enough money. The system is built that way, and it's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up for figuring it out as you go. Life can, and absolutely will, throw curveballs that you cannot handle. Agonizing over whether you're doing it right will seem really, really insignificant when you get diagnosed with cancer and face medical bankruptcy while fighting for your life. Or mom dies of a stroke before you can say goodbye. Also, comparison is the thief of joy and ignorance is bliss. Story 2. If you are still on friendly terms with people from school or uni, make a conscious effort to maintain those relationships. I'm in my mid-40s and through no deliberate thought, I am out of contact with everyone from school uni. Life gets in the way and suddenly you haven't seen your best friend from school in 20 years. Story 3. Save money, but don't make that your entire life goal. Still do things with friends. Set aside some money for travel and experiences. Give yourself a healthy weekly entertainment budget. In your 30s, people have families and committed relationships. In your 20s, I could rally people for a group trip on a week's notice and meet up regularly. Sitting out your 20s socially sucks in your 30s. Story 4. I don't know how useful these advices are. These are mainly regrets. The ones who took chances will tell you to be cautious and vice versa. The ones who lived their life free will tell you to save for retirement and vice versa. No matter what you do, if your tendency is to regret, you will find things to regret later in life. And if your personality is to be carefree, you won't spend time looking back. So in a way, it is refreshing to know it doesn't matter much. Story 5. Don't focus so much on your career. Work as hard as you need to make as much money as you need to support yourself and your family, if applicable. But don't grind any harder than that. Your job doesn't care about you and never will. The second you are unable to work as hard as the standard they've become accustomed to, they'll kick your ass to the curb and replace you. And when you're lying on your deathbed reflecting back on your life, your job isn't going to be the important parts. Focus on the important parts. Family, friends, community, leisure. Your job supports that part of your life. Never let it come first. Story 6. As the wife of a man in that age range, I would like to point out to the younger gentleman, stop putting so much emphasis on size and focus more on skill. If you can keep your partner happy in the bedroom, they will be happier overall. But also put some energy into helping them with household responsibilities, because not helping with the housework is usually one of the biggest issues after intimacy that people complain about in relationship counseling. This, I say, is not just a wife, but as couples counselor. Story 7. These two things are huge, and what I would change if I could go back. And they're foundational to pretty much anything you want to do in life, whether it's get married and have kids and a career, or whether you want to be single and travel the world or anything. Habits. Eating, sleeping, planning, working out, etc. Your quality of life in your 40s and beyond will be directly related to the habits you make and work in your 20s. Cut out the shitty eating, exercise, learn new stuff, do hard things, make a plan and work your plan. Daily, yearly, and 5 years. Don't get distracted by things that don't fulfill your plan. This is my biggest regret. If you don't have a vision for where you want to be, you'll stick your head up when you're 40 and think, hold on, I don't want to be here. Story 8. If you find a dynamite person you're passionate about and love spending time with, don't be dissuaded from making a commitment because of the paradox of choice. I live in a major city with seemingly endless dating options, but apps have ruined romantic endeavors for me because the whole thing feels so cheap and boxed in a way. It's gotten to the point that unless I'm like super craving some human interaction with a stranger, I won't date anyone that I didn't meet at a normal, real social function before. I say this as someone who fucked up with the love of his life and regrets it almost every single day. Story 9. Forming habits around health, namely, taking care of it. Guys in their 20s think they're immortal, yet how you eat now and how you take care of your body will determine your health and happiness as you age. Forming habits around money. Guys in their 20s blow their money like a pimp to live. If you salt away $50 a month in a 401k in your 20s, you won't believe how much that will total by the time you hit your 60s. Compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Learn how money and investing works now. Don't be a slave to your appetites. Many a guy has wound up writing 18 years of child support checks to a woman they didn't particularly like. Why? Because they thought having an orgasm is the most important thing in the universe. While taking care of your body and finances, don't forget your mind. If you haven't read a book since the day you graduated, it's time to start. Cultivate interests. Try new things. For the love of all that's holy, don't be the dumb slob who just camps out in front of the video game console or ESPN night after night. Those things are fun and good, but they are not life. Don't have a job. Have a career. Even if you don't have a degree, you can learn new things and pick up new skills. Your ability to constantly adapt, to always be called on as reliable, to be able to keep pace with the ever-changing demands of your chosen field will be the difference between making a decent living and barely scraping by. Story 10. Start stretching now. Only takes a few minutes a day. I stretch for 5 minutes after I wake up and for 5 minutes before I go to bed. Makes a difference in how I feel and how I sleep. Take care of your teeth. Use a dentist-recommended mouthwash. Brush 2-3 times a day. Dentist wants you to floss. I don't cause I'm lazy, but I do keep up on mouthwashing and brushing. Exercise consistently. You feel good now. You feel strong now. You have all the energy you need now. It won't stay that way if you don't stay in shape. Once you hit your 30s, that whole naturally in shape thing goes out the window. So start now. Literally, even if it's just 20 minutes, just get some exercise consistently like 4-5 times a week. Mix up some cardio with strength training. You don't need to get ripped. Just stay active and work up a sweat for 20-30 minutes a day. Learn to be patient. Patience is a virtue. Things will not happen according to your personal schedule. Romance, career, pay, getting that car or house or whatever is going to take time and won't happen based on your personal schedule. Be patient, be respectful, be thoughtful in the things that you do and say. Shit will work out eventually if you are patient, respectful, thoughtful, and keep working at your goals. Just be patient. Story 11. I'm 41 and my nephew, who is 22, moved in with me 2 years ago. He doesn't do much besides work and hang out on his phone. Listen, your 20s can be about almost anything you want. Early 20s are genuinely the first opportunity to discover yourself as a man. You get to go screw up a bit, learn lessons, figure out which of the things you believed as an early adult actually hold up to scrutiny. You need to go and explore. You will be 30 and 40 before you know it. Now is the time to go do the thing. Jump on the fucking struggle bus and find out how to embrace the suck, because that suck is likely going to be some of the most impactful time of your entire life. And here's the best part. Most of the decisions you make in your 20s won't have a massive impact on you when you're 40. Some will. 100% some will. But at 20, you can really fuck up and learn. Go adventure. Do not live someone else's life. We only get one swing on this rope. You better fucking make it count. Story 1257 here. Yes, retirement is something you should consider in your 20s. Yes, your 20s is the time to take risks with your career and find yourself. Yes, get in good shape in your 20s because it will pay off in your 50s by not being overweight or injured. But honestly, the thing you should consider in your 20s is embracing your relationship with your parents. They're not as dumb as you think. They're not as out of step as you think. They understand you better than you know, and they'll be gone before you know it. I would do anything to have mine back, even for a day. Story 13. Have fun but plan for the future. Don't delay getting all of the education you need because it's really hard to go back for that master's/PhD. Being alone in your 40s isn't as cool as being alone in your 20s. A wife and kids isn't lame, and in my 30s I feel much more put together than my single coworkers. Honestly, there is zero envy to be single. Story 14. That they will age and not be able to work, so then what? I know people who simply cannot retire because they can't afford to. And given today's economy, trying to save anything can be impossible. Some of those people are also in poor health, mentally and physically exhausted, and are alone without any outside support system. So consider your future self, the self that isn't a vibrant, healthy, fun-loving young adult without a care in the world. Because we all age. We all come to that point where we are not able to do what we used to do because our bodies and minds are failing. And if you read that and dismissed it, I also understand that. Why would that be a consideration when it's forever away, far, far off in a future you may never see? I thought that as well. You need to take care of you, which includes your future you. Kicking yourself later isn't helpful. Planning for your eventual future is. Story 15. As a man in his 50s, I can't emphasize enough. Start a plan for retirement. That means put money aside, take care of your body, and continue to be curious. Part 1. If you can, find a job with a pension. If you can't get that 401k and look into some type of long-term investing. Nothing worse than having to work when you're older and don't want to. I was fortunate enough to get a union job with retirement benefits, and I worked all the overtime I could when I was young and full of energy. I now have the luxury to work when I want as I wait out the clock to full retirement. Part 2. Take care of your body by stretching, lifting weights, and getting good eating habits. As you get older, health issues will come up, but doing the things I mentioned, you can stave off the worst of them. And Part 3. Be curious. Have hobbies, keep learning and exploring. Nothing worse than hearing an old-timer with nothing to talk about besides their ailments. And the more you stimulate your brain, the longer it stays around. Story 16. No one is going to take care of you. Stay in good shape. Active lifestyles foster social activities with other active adults. Active, healthy adults tend to be affluent, which means you will socialize with high achievers. It's a double benefit. Start saving now and pay off your student loans quickly and creatively. Doing so clears the deck for you to accelerate your retirement savings, enabling you to retire early. Story 17. When you play sports, any sports, you are actively destroying your body in a very real way. Connective tissue is not vascularized, so once it's damaged for the most part. Tons, and I mean tons of hyperactive athletic people are going through morning routines just to be able to walk, and you feel those injuries for the rest of your life in a very real way. Protect your body, and when you are 50, then get super active. You have your knees and joints and you can function in the world. The amount of pain that athletes are in middle age is dramatically underappreciated. Story 18. I know this is going to suck to hear, but don't think you're invincible. Don't think you can play fast and loose. Responsibilities and consequences will catch up to you. Take good care of yourselves mentally and physically. At some point in the future, you will have a family, and it will be your responsibility to take care and provide for that family. Don't jeopardize your rights by being reckless. Also, dip your toes into politics. Pay attention because the policies you vote for in your 20s will affect you when you're older, and they will affect your children. Don't be misguided or misled by propaganda. Do your own research. Investigate and worry about the things that are going to adversely affect your future and the future of your loved ones. Don't vote for somebody because of their skin color or what's in between their legs or whether they have a good personality, because it's not about that. It's about what they can do to make this country a sustainable place for you and your loved ones. Story 19, the future. I see so many guys in their 20s, while many do have a plan, are going to college and stuff, engaging in foolishness that is really going to hinder them or cause some pain later. All work and no play does indeed make Jack a dull boy, but moderation, squandering money on partying too much, or buying useless, unnecessary stuff with money that should be saved/invested. Dude should be putting money in a 401k now, but instead he's buying the new hot video game system, more car truck than he needs, and it's not even a hobby or passion. He's just trying to flex, look good to smash more puss, which is the next error. They're causing pain to themselves and other people by constantly chasing tail, increase their body count, look like a stud. They got one chick they actually like, but the more the merrier, so they're going after more just for fun. Then that causes the girl issues. They get dropped and feel like a POS because the girl they love don't want them anymore. Not to mention ending up with STDs like chlamydia, herpes, HPV, and child support. Lots of this stuff will naturally happen with the best of intentions, but most of it can be avoided if they stop and think, look at the most logical way it's going to play out, and just don't. But they too often get all YOLO and end up screwing themselves over. Story 21 I rarely see is invest in your future earning potential. Get that degree, certification, class, or work experience that can be used to leverage yourself for higher earning potential down the road. It's worth doing at any age, but often pays out over time. Taking a course that can give you even an extra $2/HR can adds up over the rest of your working life. Do the now before you have less energy, a family, or other obligations that distract you later in life. These opportunities are often additive and can result in a significant increase in income if you keep gaining them. Story 21 M32 here. Start saving for retirement as soon as you can afford to. If I would have started 5 years earlier, I'd have double saved. Don't be a man whore. It does more damage than you think when you're trying to prepare for marriage. Work long hours and expand your knowledge in your profession, trade. But be sure to make time for your hobbies. It gets awkward when all you know how to talk about on dates is your job, house, and dog. Travel when you can. Read one book a month. When you lose someone unexpectedly, I can guarantee you'll have at least one death come out of nowhere. Whether it be a friend or a family member, go to therapy if you need to. I definitely regret not doing so. Work out a few times a week. Build that habit so it stays with you later on in life. Story 22. This may pertain to younger 20s, but relatively speaking, anyone who is single and without kids, keep working towards that degree or that professional cert. For the foreseeable future, our world will need plumbers, electricians, mechanics, welders. Go find a trade you actually enjoy. Yay, it's work. No one wants to work, but if you enjoy welding, pursue a career out of it. Or though the debt is mounting, continue on to completing that degree. Even if you have to leave full-time schooling and reduce your load to 3 classes a semester because you have to get a job, get it done. And yes, I know, Chad, plenty of people can make it without a degree and the student loan debt, but a lot of people may set themselves on an easier road if they have that piece of paper. I realize there are girls to meet, trips to take, parties to attend, but live like no one else now, so you can live like no else in the future. Story 23. I'm in my mid-40s. The world we live in is incredibly different from the world we lived in when I was 20, and that world was vastly different from the world when I was born. Nothing stays the same. What works today will not work tomorrow. New career paths open while old ones close. Don't get sucked into any normality because it will change. Adapt, grow, and learn to live in the world as it changes. You're only hurting yourself by insisting that things stay the same because it never will. Story 24. Be wiser getting into relationships. Churches make their parishioners do questionnaires relating to future, things that can be deal breakers later on, even kids or no kids. Not saying to this extent just dating, but I didn't ask questions I should have. Also, finances. Watch on things get set up. If you're paying the bills and rent early on, you'll never sort it out. Be real with yourself and potential partners. Story 25. Your life is entirely your responsibility. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, the wholesome, the not so wholesome, the fun, the not so much fun, the pain, the laughter, the sad, the happy, everything. Take ownership of that responsibility as soon as possible and make it better. Become aware of what's happening and what is going to happen because of your actions. Not all will be according to what you've planned, but at least plan and execute for whatever you consider awesome. Targeting mediocrity while being unaware of the possibility of targeting awesomeness isn't an excuse for anything. No excuses, in fact, not to yourself, no explanations to yourself. Your life is whatever you've been given with whatever you'll make of it. Make it worth it. You're your own hero in your movie. Make the movie the best you can make and give it your all. After all, what will you do with whatever you save in this life? You're better than you think you are. Story 26, M45 opinion. The amount of time they spend on digital devices and not on reading and speaking with people is concerning. For example, if out with friends, turn the phone off. If anywhere with people around, put the phone away. Also, nobody needs to live with earbuds in and music blasting. That's antisocial behavior and potentially hurting hearing. I don't mean don't use devices, just be clear on when a device detracts from an experience. Everything doesn't need to be photographed or filmed. Further, young people, in my experience, seem to struggle to express themselves IRL. And I feel it's because they lack the skills of thinking on the go and the ability to recognize what needs attention in a given situation, especially when interacting with people they may not know, unlike digital communication that is either informal, anonymous, or is time delayed. Lastly, lay off the vapes. They're destroying lungs and lives. Story 27, savings. Nothing beats the time value of invested money. You can't make it up past about 50 other than to throw huge money in yourself, and you could have let someone else's money do that. Speaking of that debt, get out of it and never go back. Those investments of yours are paid, big picture-wise here, by those paying interest on things. Don't buy a lifestyle you think you deserve on debt. Buy exactly what you can afford. Save the rest. Story 28. Be very, very careful who you marry. You are handing that person the ability to destroy you, to emotionally cripple you for years, to take half your net worth, and to force you to pay for their life as they do it. Marriage is the fair price of admission to some of life's most precious experiences. Don't rule it out. Do have a bunch of really hard, really honest conversations, and know for sure what life both of you are picturing before you sign. Be totally honest and settle for nothing less in return. Much better for those conversations to blow up the relationship now with a little bang and a few tears than for divorce to burn down a whole world it took you 20 years to build later on. If you have that conversation correctly, both of you will want a prenup afterwards. Story 29, at a credit card, maybe it's 2, but it's imperative that you use it responsibly. Buy things that you already have the money for, things like groceries or gas, then pay it off. Don't float that balance by only paying the minimum. That interest is going to fuck you. If you have terrible credit, get a secured credit card. All this to say that your credit is important, and this is a simple way to trend it up, but you have to be responsible because it's also a quick way to decimate your credit if you get a high balance and never pay or only pay the minimum. Story 30. Find a hobby, especially one using your hands, and I don't mean a game controller. You don't have to do it much. even an hour or two a week. Women love men who are passionate about something and have a unique skill. When you get older, you tend to fall into patterns you've known for years, and it can be difficult finding the motivation to develop new ones. I'm 41 and finally taking this advice, and it's really rough trying to get myself to do my hobby, leatherworking, because of what I'm used to doing with my free time.